When it comes to delicious cured meats, it doesn't get much more iconic than Iberico ham, or jamón ibérico, if I'm being Spanish about it. The look, the mystique, but why is this so expensive, and what makes it so unique? Today I'm going ham on Iberico ham, where it came from, how it's made, what it tastes like, and what you can eat with it. But before I jump in, and if you're feeling fancy, be sure to subscribe to Come to Cheesus. Cheesus will bless you for this, and let me know what other meats or foods you would like to explore. Now, let's tune into the curing, which tastes like heaven. If you're wondering what the big deal is, cured ham or country ham is just raw meat from the back of a pig's thigh that has been salted and aged. The art of curing, as with ham and other meats, was originally about preservation and man's early attempts to survive. Milk preservation was using leftover milk for butter and cheese, and for meat, salting and curing. Being able to eat something at a later time is such an overlooked luxury in our modern world. 1,000 years ago, though, no garage fridges were around for the old man cave. Curing meat was one of the few ways to keep that meat safe to eat at a later date. Cured ham is pretty easy because it only has 3 ingredients: pork leg, salt, and thyme. No, not that thyme, the clock kind. But how long have we been eating the swine? Well, if we want to jump on the old food time machine, let's go way back. The boar first appeared on this earth about 4 million years ago. Look at it, lonely and delicious. Take that, creationist! 2 million years ago, boars colonized Eurasia. But when man showed up, primal pigs were some of the first and most important food sources. And around 6,000 years ago, not too far after goat and sheep, was when pigs were first domesticated. Somewhere around 3500 BC, in the area which is now southwestern Spain, regional pigs roamed free in large areas. Let's go next to the 9th century. The first forefathers of the Iberian pigs were brought to reality. That's because of interbreeding of wild boars from the Mediterranean pigs. Pigs were a big food source for the Celts. Origins of raw ham come from the Ardennes region, which is a huge, dense forest in Europe, and which is now basically Belgium but stretches into France, Germany, and Luxembourg. But this is where the first local pigs were domesticated. There were natural caves in the region, which gave the Celts a place for ham to be cured. Romans who occupied the area noticed. In 200 BC, Cato the Elder wrote about hanging hams. Belgians actually learned salting and brining from the Romans. And when Christopher Columbus reached America, he had Iberico hams on his ship. Found in southwest Spain, the dark gray Iberico pig is also called pata negra, which translates to black leg, but really it's more referencing the black hooves. This breed is also known for their black label, which is the highest grade Iberico ham. They're like the A+ student for tastiness. As mentioned, the Iberico pig is mainly found in southwestern Spain, in Huelva, Extremadura, Los Pedros Chevali, and Salamanca. These pigs are famous for their diet of acorns. Acorns just happen to be high in unsaturated fat, and that fat is stored in the muscle of the pig, which is what helps shape Iberico ham's charming marbling. Oh, just look at it. Nice hammies. So how and why acorns? Well, centuries ago, Spanish rulers were focused on the long-term success for their towns and villages, so they helped create dehesas. These are man-made lands in southern Spain used for pasturing animals. Dehesas are biodiverse and provide both a habitat for wildlife and a wide range of foods as well. So they mandated that the edges of these lands where pigs would gaily frolic and roam should be lined with oak trees. And just in case you didn't know, an acorn is the nut of an oak. The designation for Iberico ham states that the pigs have to be reared in the regions where the dehesas are found. And these Iberian pigs really pig out on acorns. At 10 months old, these beasts already weigh an astounding 200 pounds, which should get them the attention from some college football scouts, but instead these big uglies are set out on the acorn diet, eating an impressive 22 pounds of acorns every day. With all the nuts these pigs are munching on, they are definitely not going to fit into their favorite pair of jeans because they are gaining 2 pounds of fat every day. I think I did the same thing in college. After 3 to 4 months of this nuttiness, the pig doubles in weight. Pigs! Smug with their daily decadent diet, these swine are living high on the hog. But little do they know, the bill for their nutty lifestyle is about to be due. Yeah, beware piggy pig pigs. It's the Ides of March, and the payment is your marbled hide. Yeah, so now this is life's transaction with the pigs going from hog to ham. And here's how we get Iberico ham. First, they start with salting. After the culling of the pig, the hind legs are removed and rubbed with sea salt, which stays on for about 7 to 10 days. Next, the hams go into the resting stage. This is where the hams are blown clean of salt and sent to ripening rooms, which are cool and humid. We're talking 40 degrees and about 90% humidity. The salt penetrates deep inside the hams and expels moisture. The ham drying out is really what helps create its longevity. Next, it is the drying and maturation phase. The legs are sent to drying chambers for anywhere from 6 months to about a year. After this, many cured meats like prosciutto, for example, go through a larding phase where they are rubbed and, you guessed it, lard. But sometimes this is also with flour and salt. Iberico ham, however, skips this step. Lard that ham. That really sounds like an interesting game show, by the way. Instead, after the drying chambers, Iberico hams go to the bodega. No, not a convenience store in Astoria, Queens, but the bodega in this case is a cellar where the hams are hung up for at least 2 years. Because of both the amount of time and the room's microorganisms, this is where the ham really develops its aroma. While the majority of Iberico hams are aged for about 2 years, some can age up to 5 years. Iberico hams can be pricey, but within the same name there are different classifications of pig and labels that affect what you're eating. The very best is the black label. This is 100% Balata ham, and this is the only type that can carry the Pata Negra name. These farm pigs roam free on the range and have an acorn diet. This is only about 5% of the total output for Iberico ham, so it's more rare and way more expensive. Next is the red, so these are not purebred Iberico pigs, but they come from free-range pastures, and they're pigs living on the countryside and eat a grass diet. And these pigs only eat acorns when they are in season. Then we have the green label. These are mixed breed pigs who eat a mixed diet. And then last we have the white label, which are just pigs on a farm. They're not purebred and they have no free range. And they only eat compound feed. So after all that life, death, curing, and everything else, this Iberico ham is finally in front of me and waiting for me to eat it. And as you can see, this has a beautiful marbled red hue color. And you know, I'm gonna take one for the team. I'm gonna try some of this ham to see what it actually tastes like. First things you notice, it's delicious. But the first thing you'll notice is that it has that, you can definitely pick out that nutty quality, but there's like a sweetness at the end, almost like a little desserty. It's definitely got some nice, like almost smoky flavors. It's very, very, very tender. Not as chewy as I thought. It's just a very nice piece of meat. Look at that delicious fat right there. And for such a thin piece of meat, it really just fills up the mouth with just a ton of flavor. I mean, salty, savory, sweet. But this is really good stuff right here. Okay, so I want to compare 3 famous different hams side by side. So I'm going to be doing prosciutto de Parma, Iberico Ham, and Jambon de Paris. See, you could tell I took French in high school right there. So the first one over here, prosciutto de Parma. So this is made with the whey from the milk. So when you're making cheese, you have curds and whey that get separated. The curds go to make the cheese, and then the whey, at least portions of it, get fed to the pigs, which eventually become prosciutto de Parma. Next, we have Iberico ham. As we know, is the pigs are fed acorns. And then we have Jambon de Paris, which I believe is made out of homeless French people. That's just what I heard. It's the internet. So let's compare them next to each other. So this is Jambon de Paris. You can see this is probably the palest of the colors. they're French. French are pretty pale people. But you know, I think this is, you know, kind of smells like a ham that you would just buy at the grocery store. Looks like something you'd buy at the grocery store. But taste, you know, just nice and subtle. That's a really delicious, delicious ham. This is like something you could probably eat every day. Let's see what the prosciutto tastes like. You have a little bit and it feels like you've had a lot. This, you know, you could just pile on sandwiches for days. This you could eat by itself, or again, team it up with something. And then of course, the star of the show. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that fatty fat, just oozing. This is a little bit more chewy than the other two, and has the most flavor out of the two, but again, it's not overpowering. It's pretty subtle overall. Very delicious. I don't think my heart could take it if I ate this every day. This I could eat every day. So if you're gonna pair Iberico ham with anything, pair it with a manchego. There's a couple that I recommend. There's Manchego 1605, which references the date that Don Quixote was written. There's also Manchego Oveja Negra, which is a black sheep. Black hooves, black sheep. That's good pairing. Wawa black sheep, why not? A little ham, a little sheep's milk cheese. Never hurt anyone. But if you get your hands on some of this jam ham, specialty stores or cheese shops will have a leg, but many times they'll come vacuum packed, so enjoy it. And if you happen to have leftovers, you just want to make sure you prevent air from getting in. Tightly wrap it with some plastic wrap or on a plate, and that should buy you a few extra days to eat and enjoy. So what do you think? Is Iberico ham really worth it? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from Come to Cheesus.